When performing ellipsometric measurements, you sometimes have a sample that is two-side polished, meaning that you can see reflections in both sides of the sample. And what you want to do sometimes, whenever it's the case, is that you want to roughen one of the sides of the sample so that it is now one side polished, meaning that you can see reflections only coming from one side of the sample and not from the other. So to do this, we're going to learn today how to sandblast one of the sides of a sample to roughen it. In this case, we're going to sandblast a silicone piece. To do this, we'll need a mid-size air compressor just like this one, an air hose with various fittings, and a sandblasting gun that we will use to blast the silicone piece. For the abrasive that goes inside the sandblasting gun, we're using aluminum oxide with a 220 grit. The grit you will use will depend entirely on how hard your sample is. You can also use silicon dioxide as the abrasive, but aluminum oxide works best for these types of samples. Additionally, we can use a plate similar to this one with little clamps we're going to use to place the sample. Using a piece of smooth cloth is important to put between the plate and the sample to protect the side of the sample we want to keep polished. One tip is to make a small mark on the sample's surface that will let us know when we have properly roughened the piece. Also, remember to wear thin nitrile gloves, a face mask, and safety glasses when doing this procedure. Okay, now that we have our mid-size air compressor plugged in, we're gonna connect the sandblasting gun to the air hose right here. Okay. You're secure. Now we're just gonna turn on. Now that we have our sample in position, we're gonna use our sandblasting gun to blast some of the aluminum oxide onto the sample. As you can see right here in this clip, I'm just trying to find the proper position of the sandblasting gun where I can start actually roughening the sample. You can try getting a little bit closer to the sample, you can try getting a little bit apart from the sample, and you can see in this clip how it is starting to get rough. The idea behind this is that you can actually start seeing how the piece is being roughened by the use of the sandblasting gun. Right now you can see the sample is properly sandblasted, but it is important to remember also to change the position of the clips, because as you can see here, there are little spots where the sample is not properly sandblasted. So now we're gonna focus on doing that. Remember to try different positions apart from the sample where you can start actually seeing how the sample is being affected by the aluminum oxide. And now we can see that our sample is properly sandblasted. This is how the sample first looked with a mark that we made, and now this is how it looks. As you can see, once the mark disappears, the sample is properly roughened.